What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going over my reaction and my review of UFC 313, Magomed Ankalaev versus Pereira, which was last Saturday. And yep, let's get right into it. We got a lot to talk about. So for the first fight of the main card, we had King Green versus Mauricio Ruffy. I had predicted that Ruffy was going to win via a nasty TKO in the second or late first round, and that is pretty much exactly what happened. I'd said it in my last video, but it doesn't take an MMA genius to take a look at both guys and realize that Ruffy is clearly the more skilled guy. It was just more of, does he have the experience and fight IQ to not get caught in a blitz from King Green? And it's clear he does have that IQ and defense ability. Pretty much, it was just too fast, too strong, too skillful, too slick for a guy like King Green. And when you have those split moment reactions like that, it doesn't do you any good to have your hands by your waist. And we saw that with King Green. He put King Green out with a nasty wheel kick KO. I mean, that's got to be KO of the year. If there is another KO better than that, more cinematic than that, then we are truly blessed as MMA fans. I can't wait to see what Ruffy and the Fighting Nerds continue to do, so I'll definitely be keeping an eye on him from now on. Up next, we have what I dubbed the potty break of the night, Amanda Lemos versus Yasmin Lucindo. But to be honest, guys, I really didn't mind it. I know they were getting a lot of fucking hate on Twitter and shit, but I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was that bad. Pretty much what I had predicted was that Yasmin was going to be too small, too weak for a veteran like Lemos. She was going to have the advantage on the feet, Lemos would. But I did think Yasmin would have the advantage on the ground, which she really didn't. She was getting thrown around and held down on the ground by Lemos. Now, this probably goes back to what I was saying about Lemos being a lot stronger and Yasmin being weaker. That probably had to do with most of that. Lemos was just overpowering Yasmin's skill, but I really didn't see that coming. I thought Lemos was gonna dog her on the feet, which she did, but I thought Yasmin would have the advantage on the grappling there, and she really didn't. I mean, there's really not much more else to say about that. Women's MMA is in a weird spot right now. All their new prospects can't get past Amanda fucking Lemos, so we'll see where that goes, and hopefully they create an atomweight division soon. So for the next fight on the main card, we had Jalen Turner versus Ignacio Bahamondes. And so far, my picks have been going great, but every party needs a pooper, and I guess that's why I picked Jalen Turner. Ignacio completely proved me wrong with this one. He put my foot in my mouth. I said that Ignacio would have nothing for Jalen Turner. I had maybe thought deep down that he would have something for him in the grappling, but I really thought that the striking was going to be so outmatched in favor of Jalen that it wouldn't even get that far. I thought Jalen was going to dispatch of him quickly and easily, but that is not what happened. Ignacio whooped Jalen's ass on the feet and on the ground. So much so, he retired Jalen Turner, who is 29 years old. It wasn't that long ago Jalen Turner was one of the top prospects coming up. I thought he was going to be like a perfect guy for the UFC to push. He was cool, he skated, he was tall, you know, all that whole thing. But yeah, I mean, Ignacio completely proved me wrong. I was kind of in shock. And yeah, I mean, good on Bilal for calling that. He's Bilal's guy. Bilal has been supporting him this whole time. He said that he may be the best striker in the UFC, and Ignacio looked really good. I mean, I don't blame for Bilal for saying all that. I mean, it was a great victory from Ignacio. It sucks to see Jalen retire, but I mean, if his heart's not in it, his heart's not in it. Maybe he'll be back. He's still young, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Turner return in the future, but if I had to guess, the game probably would have passed him by then. So congrats to Ignacio. Once again, another good 155er, cementing his prospectiveness in the division, and I can't wait to see where he goes with his career. Up next, we're on to the co-main event, Rafael Fiziev versus Justin Gaethje. This was a really good fight, really exciting to watch. I had picked Gaethje to win, and that is what happened. Gaethje won. Now, when I made my prediction, I actually hadn't seen the news that this fight was only going to be a 3-rounder. I don't know how the fuck I missed that, but I had predicted that Gaethje would finish Fiziev in the 4th or 3rd round, maybe the 5th. I just predicted that since Fiziev was coming in on short notice, he wouldn't have the gas tank to really keep up with Gaethje in those later rounds. And you know what? That's kind of what we saw. The way the fight went, Fiziev came out strong. He won the first round, absolutely. First round was completely Fiziev's. With the takedowns, that was a little weird. I was concerned to see the 2 takedowns in a row, but what I figured that was, he was kind of getting revenge for the takedown that Gaethje got last time. Once we got to the second, that was clearly Gaethje. Gaethje started picking it up, and you know, he really outstruck and kind of beat on Fiziev that round. So it was clearly 1-1 going into the 3rd. headed into the third round, that first half was all Fiziev. Fiziev was really putting it together. I think he was maybe seeking out a finish or something. I'm not too sure. But that second half of that third round, that was all Gaethje. Gaethje started really putting it together on Fiziev. He started landing nasty uppercuts, just good combos overall, and you could tell Fiziev was wiltering. There was a little bit of controversy online. A lot of people felt like Fiziev took that round and took that fight based off of the first half. And I could totally see it that way, but honestly, I think what really sealed the deal for Gaethje were the optics at the end of the fight. Fiziev looked absolutely fucking gassed. Dare I say, had it gone an extra round, Fiziev would get finished very early into that fourth round. Gaethje looked like he was just getting going. He looked like he just had his momentum. You know, it looked like he was getting in the rhythm of things. It looked like that he was going to get a finish had the round been a minute longer or 30 seconds longer. Fiziev looked gassed and Gaethje looked fresh. Obviously, this speaks to the lack of preparedness from Fiziev. He wasn't training for a full 5-round camp the way Gaethje was. And you know what? Fiziev did really fucking good despite that situation. I can't wait to see where Fiziev goes with the 4-round camp. Clearly, Fiziev is back. So is Gaethje. That's what people are mainly focused on. Justin Gaethje is back. The fluke KO for Max was a fluke KO. But I think the bigger thing that's getting ignored is that Fiziev is back. And considering the state of the lightweight division with all these newer guys, you got Patty, you got Ruffy, you got Ignacio, and now you have Fiziev back. The 155 division seems like it's gearing up to be the premier division like it used to be in the UFC. Make sure to comment down below any ideal matchups you would love to see in the future. I saw MMA Guru tweeted something he would like to see Ruffy and Ignacio go at it. I personally think that we should build those guys up a little more considering the lack of stars, but there is no shortage of banger fights in the 155 division within the next couple years. Alright, we're on to the main event, the real view grabber. The thing that I'm going to put in my thumbnail to get all of you guys watching, Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira. I would be wrong not to bring up all of the shit you guys gave me in the comment section of my last video. I'm going to put up all the comments of what you guys said. You guys called me fat. You guys said I couldn't do a push-up. And you guys called me nerd, tubby fat boy. And you know what? All of that may be true. But you know what else was true? Pereira getting exposed. That is exactly what we saw. Yes, he did really good for not getting taken down throughout that whole fight. His takedown defense looked pretty solid, but he still got exposed completely. Hear me out. Ankalaev beat him on the boxing. He beat him on the feet. Now I know what you're saying. Me, Pereira outstruck him every round. Those were calf kicks. Come on, guys. Rewatch the fucking fight. Pereira was getting his head bobbed around, you know, like a bobblehead. He was getting outboxed by Ankalaev. Now, I do agree with you guys in that the holding him against the cage shouldn't really count for anything. But if we're going to count that as nothing, a lot of those calf kicks didn't make Ankalaev buckle. Once Ankalaev made the adjustments, the calf kicks were insignificant. Plus, combine it with the fact he almost fucking finished Pereira in round 2. Pereira got saved by the bell. Had that been 5 seconds longer, Pereira would have been out cold on the fucking mat. Another thing that I kind of have to agree with in terms of the main narrative is Ankalaev did not win that 5th round. I'm seeing a lot of people say he did win that 5th round. That is just not what I saw. Pereira won that round. And yeah, Pereira did a really great job. I mean, dare I say, that might have been one of the better Pereiras we've seen. It's just that Ankalaev's skill set and the threat of the takedown put the fear of God into Pereira. It left him hesitant. It left him scared. It left him frozen. Like Elsa. But yeah, man, I mean, the Chama era is over. As a fan of MMA and the sport, it does fucking suck to see. I loved Pereira as a champion, how active he was going to be. All his little online gimmicks, the Chama, you know, that was really cool to see. It brought a lot of casual eyes to the sport. And you could tell, you know, this is obviously just bad for the sport for a guy like Ankalaev to win. Yeah, he doesn't speak English like Pereira, but he's not Pereira. He doesn't have a Chama. His saying is, it's big Ank time. Nobody's gonna be saying that shit, alright? Nobody, it's big Ank time. Imagine somebody actually saying that. Come on. But I gotta say, this Ankalaev title reign may not be as bad as we think. He is going full swing into the fucking heel mode. He is really leaning into that. The way he started shit-talking a congratulatory tweet from Yuri, he called him a bum. He started talking shit to Khalil Roundtree. And then he said, let's go Jamal. This is an absolute heel move by Ankalaev. And for him to come out and say, it's not my fault the fight was boring. Pereira was running from me for 5 rounds. What am I supposed to do about that? which, you know, that kind of was true. But yeah, this is just some great work from Ankh. He is pissing a lot of you guys off, and he's doing it good. I gotta give him props there. I'm actually pretty excited to see where he goes with his championship reign. As long as he stays the heel, I think this could work out for him. On to Pereira. Where does Pereira go from here? Personally, I would like to see him just say fuck it and go to heavyweight. Yes, I know he could probably win an Ankalaev rematch, maybe, but if he were to lose to Ankalaev again, that would pretty much end his career. That would not justify any heavyweight move. That would ruin all hopes of that. Right now, what we need to do while we have the opportunity is take him to heavyweight, especially with the narrative that Pereira got robbed. If we move him to heavyweight under that narrative that he got quote unquote robbed and didn't actually lose, he doesn't really lose any drawing power. Maybe a little bit, but not really a lot, especially if you put him up against a guy like Aspinall or Jones. Dana did say they probably will do an immediate rematch, and like I said, I get it, but the risk there is so fucking big. If Pereira loses again, that's just really not good for his career. I mean, it might as well be over. He is 39 years old. He's not getting any younger, obviously. Take that heavyweight move while you can. Fight Tom Aspinall while you can. Make the big fights when you can make them. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say about the card, other than fuck you to the haters. I told you so. But yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter over there. I talk a lot of shit on there. I live tweet throughout the fight. So if you want to really argue with me in the midst of these fights, make sure to add me over there. And yeah, subscribe and stay tuned. We're going to be uploading a lot more videos on UFC this year, and we're taking over. So thanks for watching, guys. See ya.